Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Hope all is well and everybody's doing all right. Everybody had a great spring break. It's countdown time now, y'all.
It was all right. It could have been longer.
Yeah, I was just talking to your classmates. I was just talking to your classmate about that same thing. But see, the longer you prolong spring break, the longer we're prolonging the semester. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to balance right now. I'm trying to get this thing over with.
Right.
So yep, guys, it's countdown time now. So we have 8 weeks left at the most, might be 7 weeks. I got to go back and look. But last we left, we had closed out chapter 10, excuse me. So we're gonna jump into 11 today. And we only have 2 chapters left actually, as far as new content is concerned. Chapter 11 and chapter 12. And so if we get to the point where we're finished, but we have a lot of class time left, in order to validate us not doing anything new, I might send you like a video to look at, like a math video where you can pick out 10 things that you saw from the video, something simple that will validate me not giving you new content or not creating a project or something for you guys to do, but you can just continue to do your work, look at the video. At the most, it's 20 minutes. And it's just, we'll just be reviewing and stuff going forward. So let's get through the new content first, and then we'll see how things shape up for us. All right. So we're starting off with 11.1, the fundamental accounting principle. So if you can choose one item from a group of M items and the second item from the group from a group of N items, the total number of 2 item choices is M times N. So M and N represent numbers, and you'll see in a second when we look at our example. But the condition here, the premise here is you only can choose one item from each group. If that is the case, you multiply your total number of options together from each group, and that'll be the total number of 2 item choices. All right. So let's look at example. So we have the Greasy Spoon restaurant offers 6 appetizers and 14 main courses. And how many ways can a person order a 2-course meal? So I'll give you guys a chance to copy before we go into it. All right, anybody holding on to the black? All right, so we have 6 appetizers, 14 main courses. We're only choosing 1 appetizer and 1 main course. Notice it says 2-course meal. So we're choosing 1 appetizer, 1 main course. So we multiply the 6 and the 14 together, and that'll be 84 2-course meals. Any problems with that before we go to the next one? All right, scrolling up. So the next one, it don't just, the fundamental accounting principle is not just held to just two categories. You can have more than two categories. So if we look at the next one. If you have 30 shirts, 20 pairs of jeans, and 10 pairs of shoes, how many different outfits could you create? Now, once again, the premise is you're only going to choose one shirt, one pair of jeans, one pair of shoes. And so if that's the case, 30 times 20 times 10, 6,000 outfits can be created. So once again, you know, in the green, just reiterating the fact that you're multiplying the number of options in each category. Questions, any questions? Hold on to the purple. All right, suppose you could order a car with a choice of 9 possible colors, with or without air conditioning, electric or gas powered, and with or without an onboard computer. And how many ways can it be ordered with regard to these options? All right. All right, so when we go to try to find the answer here, when we try to do pretty much all of these problems, what you want to look to do is first you want to establish your categories. Then we're going to establish how many options per category. And then we're going to multiply the number of options from each category. Let's scroll up. All right, so we have 4 categories here. We have colors, air conditioning, the power of the car, and then computer. Now it says we have 9 colors, so that's why we have 9 in the box. Then AC, with or without. So there's 2 choices. Power, electric, gas, 2 choices. And then computer, with or without. Once again, 2 choices. All right. Once you establish how many options you have for each category, you multiply those numbers together. And you see we have 72 different ways that we could actually order this car. All right, any problem before we go to the next one? Let's go up too far, let me know. Last problem. All right. So we let it see here for those who are copying. Let's see here for a couple seconds. So you are taking a multiple choice test that has 10 questions. Each of the questions has 4 choices or 4 answer choices with 1 correct answer per question. If you select one of these 4 choices for each question and leave nothing blank, in how many ways can you answer the questions? Once again, we're only choosing 1 per question. So how many different ways could we answer the questions for the test? So just like the last one, we want to establish our category. So we have 10 questions. So those are our 10 different categories, 10 different boxes. And then for each question, we have 4 choices. So that's why I have a 4 in each box. And so we want to be careful here. This is not going to be 4 times 10 because we have 10 questions, but it'll be 4 times itself 10 times. So we're talking about we're talking about 4 to the 10th power. Whoa. We're talking about 4 to the 10th power. And so most definitely you want to throw in the calculator. Questions on that before we go to the next one? Everybody okay with the concept? Everybody okay with what we're doing? Mhm. So telephone numbers in the US begin with 3-digit area codes followed by 7-digit local number or local telephone numbers. Area codes and local numbers cannot begin with 0 or 1. How many different telephone numbers are possible? Mhm. So first of all, I want to make sure we're okay with the idea that we have 10 single digits. So you're talking about 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 through 9. We have 10 options for single digits that we can use to build out our telephone number. Just don't want us to do forget 0 and all this good stuff like that. So 0 through 9 will be the number of single digits that we can choose from. Right. So if we want to establish how many boxes we have, like we did in the last one, it will be 10 boxes because we have 10 digits for our full phone number. We have an area code, around here, 757. And then we have our local number. Now, as far as filling in the number of choices that we have for each box, that's our next step. And it will look like this. So for the first box in your area code, first box in your local number, you cannot use 0 or 1. So remember, we had 10 digits to choose from, 0 through 9. If I can't use 0 and 1, that means I will only have 8 numbers to choose from in those first boxes. First box of your area code, first box of your local number. Then the rest of them doesn't have any conditions or stipulations, so you would just use 10 because we have 10 numbers to choose from in the rest of the boxes. All right. Questions? Make sure that makes sense. All right. Well, once you've established how many or what numbers go in each box, just multiply each number together. And we have 6.4 billion different numbers that can be created. All right. Questions on that? All right. So as always, some questions may not come up until you actually start doing them. So, make sure you try this stuff out and get with me if you have more questions on it. Now we're going to do a few problems out of 11.2, get started in 11.2. Well, they're not going to get us so far. My last class didn't get us so far because they had different questions and different things and all that stuff. And, I like to keep my classes together as far as content is concerned. But this builds upon what we just finished talking about when we look at permutations. So we have permutations, and then next section will be combinations. And the main difference between the two is that with permutation, the order matters. Combination, the order does not matter. So, and we'll be able to see the difference as we go about doing these. But permutation is an ordered arrangement of items that occurs when no item is used more than once and the order matters. So we got 6 comedians here. Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Tiffany Haddish, Will Ferrell, Trevor Noah. Okay, there you go. All right, now I was looking for something. Good to go here. Also take note, we only have 1 female. That's part of our list. That's gonna matter later on, but that was intentional because of a problem that we're gonna use later. But we say, how many different ways can you arrange the lineup for the comedians to perform? So just like before, we want to establish our boxes for our categories. So I got first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth box. And they just represent the order in which the comedians will perform. So the first slot, first box is the first comedian going forth. Second one, second comedian, third one, third comedian, and so on. And so when you put the numbers in the boxes, the numbers inside the box represent how many options do you have for each box. So notice in the first box, we have 6 because there are 6 comedians. Now, the second box has 5 comedians because what we do not want is for Kevin Hart to go first and then Kevin Hart to go second as well. Once Kevin Hart goes, we don't want him to be another option. So you would do 6 comedians. Once one of those comedians go, and the next slot will be 5 comedians. Once that comedian goes, next slot will be 4, then 3 and 2. And then when you get to this final box, there's only going to be 1 comedian left. All right. So that's how that will break down. Questions on that before we go further? Make sure we're okay. And then once you put your numbers in your box, you multiply them together, that's 720 different ways that you can set up your lineup. All right. Any problems? Make sure we're okay. All right. Still sticking with our comedians. And how many ways can the comedians perform if Kevin Hart goes first and Dave Chappelle goes last? Alright. So once again, establish your boxes. We have 6 slots for our 6 comedians. Once again, in the box, we want to put how many choices we have for each box or for each performance slot. Filling up on black. All right. So for the first slot, we have one comedian, which is Kevin Hart. So that's the only option we have there. Then for the last slot, we have one for that one comedian, which is Dave Chappelle. All right. So remember, the number of options is what we're putting in these boxes. Now in the middle, doesn't matter who goes, but remember there are 4 comedians left. So that's why we start off with 4 here and then do our countdown. 4, 3, 2, 1. We have 6 comedians all together. One is going to go in the first slot. The other one's going to go in the 6th slot. So you're taking 2 comedians out of the total number, and that's why you have 4 in the. All right. Well, once you have that, you multiply each number together 24 different ways. Questions, questions, questions. Everybody good, everybody straight. All right, so let's see. Do I want to go into the next piece and start right here? Last time I start right here, they had a lot of questions. Factorial notation. I'll stick with what I did with the last class. So I'll pause right here. Next class, we'll get into factorial notation. Like I said, they took us all the way to the end of the class because they had a lot of questions on what was going on. And so we're going to start right here next class as far as 11.2 is concerned, and then finish out 11.3 and go from there. So like I said, there was no rush on what we're doing. We only have 2 chapters left. And chapter 11 is 5 sections, chapter 12, 5 sections. So, yeah. Chapter 11, 6 sections. So, you know, so we got time to, and I know some people need the time to get caught up. If you use spring break, you could get caught up. So it's all good. So any questions before we close out?
No.
Thank you, thank you. All right, well, you guys have a good one. Be safe. Try the stuff out. See if you have any questions, because some questions aren't generated till you actually try the stuff out. And I will see you on next class.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
Thanks, do the same. Take care.
All right.